All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, so here's what I got going on. I'm working on my snare. I know this place is a disaster. I will clean it up maybe tonight if I have a chance, but last thing I got to do with my poor Otter here is I'm letting him thaw out really well. And he is, hopefully this will catch it. There we go. Just about perfectly primed. He's really nice. Just trying to get that angle so you can see the undergrowth there. But he's just about some. He's an old one. He's a very old otter. He's still quite stinky, but he's very nice, beautiful pelt on him. Just beautiful. Look at that. That's nice. So before I flesh him, I want to make sure he's like completely thawed out. He's like concaving on me. What the heck's going on? Sorry with the sunlight. I didn't even get the idea. But he's a really nice one. When you go to flesh them, make sure they're 100% thawed out. Now, I've been looking at some. The thing about trapping is you're always learning. Anybody that tells you they know everything and just do this one way and that's it, don't listen to those people. They might have a good method, but the problem is, hey, wait, I think I do that. Okay, scratch what I just said. Okay, they might have one method that works really well, and if they do, obviously employ it. But always search for, regardless of that, never be closed-minded to trying something that might work really well. I've always been kind of semi-leery of snares, but these are passive snares, so these would be considered a restraining trap. Now, I can't do this with one-handed, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start showing my snares. And I bought two types of snares. Those are the wolf snares. Those are the big ones. And I know it's kind of dark over here, but I'm just testing them to see that they're functioning and ready to go. Now, when I first bought these snares, I waxed them and I dyed them. So I'm just going to get this cam in the right spot here. And then I'm going to, yeah, see that one is not fully... It's not bad, but it's not dropping quite as free as I would like. So I'm going to work those snares a little bit to make sure that they drop freely. I'm going to be taking the crossbow today. That should be interesting. Got some extra snare wire stuff. Got some rabbit hair snare. But I'll do an exclusive video on it. But what I'm really excited to show you, something that I tried them. I don't know how the hell I set them before, but... These are kill snares, active snares. These snares are, if you're going to get snares, this is what I'd recommend as these guys. The problem is you need that little special pliers to set them. These little springs will add an extra 50 pounds of killing power. So once the snare like snags and hits the stop kind of thing on his neck and it's fully taut, this kicks and just zip ties it kind of thing. And that is what I want, because I'd rather be coming to a dead animal than a live animal that you have to put down for it. Not just because I'm afraid of the animal or whatever. No, that's not it. It's if you are trying to get pelts like that, and that guy's just about perfectly prime. Well, to me, he's perfectly prime. He's a 1-1 and a 1. You know, he's a good dark brown. He's got a little bit light on him, but anyway, if you want pelts like that, you can't have blood stains on it. You can't have holes in it. Even though all the fur is graded from the ears back on just about every pelt. Sorry about that. Probably got the bad lighting here. From the ears back graded on all pelts. It's still that when you shoot them, when they're in the, whether it's a fox, a coyote, a lynx, wolverine, a bear, a coyote, wolf, whatever it's going to be, if you have to shoot them while they're in the trap, you're gonna get the, even if they drop right on the spot, you get blood all over everything. So anyway, I'm just going to show you, of course, bad lighting. Wait a minute, I know what I'll do. I just want to show you a demonstration on the snares for a second. So again, I'll do more in depth, but I'm kind of just learning. I guess a channel shout out would be Trapping Inc. That guy, I think he's the creator of those active snares, of those type. Like there's the old fashioned ones with the big gigantic springs or whatever. Okay, where the hell do I put the camera? Anyway, I'll put the camera right here, and because I got to get out onto the trap line. That's been thawing out for an hour or two. he didn't, even though it was really cold last night, he didn't really freeze that much. The first thing I want to do is check my cams. So you can see these little cam actions. Hopefully you guys can see them quite well. Make sure they're nice and supple. And that's one thing. So that's, you know, that's going to grab when it needs to grab. Now, one thing I did, and this is going to be a really good one, is I'm going to set my cam in the passive position. Okay, as if it was set. Okay, so basically straight up and down. When it kicks in, it locks. When it kicks in, it locks like that, right? So I'm gonna go like that. Get this all there, and then yeah. See, that's a good. That snare. That one's ready to go. That one's. So that's the kind of. That's what you want with your snares, is that kind of animals in it, and you know, as easy as that. Like as little pressure as that, just kind of touches it. So let's say he's got his head in something, and he just, okay, whoops, sorry, get that snare in the right spot here. Sometimes you gotta mess with them to get them in the right spot. So he's there, and whoop, see that, that's locking, hang on. Okay, try to get this where it needs to be. Okay, so it'd be like that. So he's like that. He's in there. And, oh, see my cam's up. So again, you might have to play around with it, but then he just touches it, and then as soon as he freaks out, he pulls back. So you might have to, like when they're sitting there, you're gonna have to play around with them so that everything's sitting. You want the cam to sit like that, so it can. Oh, what the hell's I'm pulling the camera along. I don't know. Geez, why does all my equipment break all the time? I can't figure it out. Can you guys? Anyway, so he's coming along. And it's just nice and just touches it, and he's done for. Now that said, eventually snares are trying to make a break for us. That said, one of the goals will be is to use those snares the way they are. But whenever it gets to like next season, if I have the finances, I'm going to upgrade those snares to active snares. So again, if it kills the animal and I get there and he's stone dead, the advantage I get is I don't have to shoot him and get blood all over the place, which is advantage one. But here's how it makes even more money. Is advantage two is I'm not putting a hole in the skull, which means I can sell the skull, because if you shoot it with the 22, it'll probably just put a small hole in there, but if it ricochets around, it busts the skull up, and then, you know, like, I mean, there could be an extra 25, 50 bucks right there, you know, 100 if it's a really good skull, you know what I mean? So I keep all that stuff, you know, I take their heads, because I want to use as much of the animal as possible. Something I'm going to be looking into doing, if I when I catch the, like, whatever my Godzilla otter is going to be, my Godzilla beaver is going to be, my Godzilla wolf or whatever, the biggest of the biggest, I want to keep the entire bone structure and see if I can put the bone structure together and sell it as a whole, like a full skeleton. That I think would be very, very cool. Maybe a museum would buy it for, you know, it'd be a lot of work, but it also, it's good biology stuff. The other thing is I got one place not that far from here, if it's still open, Hawks Trading Post. I'm probably going to go in there and see if they want to buy some of the old skulls and stuff that I have. I got a whole bunch of stuff I never sold, eh? And marketing the skulls is kind of difficult a bit, but it is doable. So I'm going to do that, and then hopefully once I do that, I can make a little extra money there. And again, I'm only on my 4th otter, but about a capture a week off for really one trap. So, and I'm just starting to get everything all set up and refined. And what's going to happen, you know, probably this week, next week, all the traps will be out. Then it'll be like, okay, now I can start, like in December, it'll be like, okay, I'm going to fine tune this trap and I'm going to do this. It takes a while to get it. All this stuff should have been done in pre-season where I was going to go. But even when you do that in the preseason, you always end up moving stuff around anyway. And if I can get all 6 of my conibears in a spillway, kind of like what I got, I'll be getting, like, if I get a fur a week per conibear, that's six pelts a week. That's a living, my friends. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. So get out on the trail, go check my traps, and yeah, we'll see if I got something there.